Meanwhile, back in the jungle.
Namely a motion to give precedence to a motion that would provide for the consideration of the Criminal Code Amendment Prohibition of Nazi Symbols Bill 2023. President, the unity with which all mainstream political parties in Australia have stood against Nazi ideology, Nazi sympathisers and Nazi propaganda has provided a strong and enduring protection against a known evil being able to inflict harm on our society. To fracture that
Senator
unity—
Birmingham, Senator Birmingham, could you resume your seat? Senator Watt. Senator Watt. Order. 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 Senator Cash, just a moment. Senator Henderson, please resume your seat. I will come back to you. I've asked you to resume your seat, Senator Henderson. I've asked you to resume your seat. Senator Cash, I'm going to ask you to withdraw that remark.
I withdraw.
Thank you. Senator Henderson.
President, Senator Watt said the most disgraceful thing.
Let's take a close look at that floor plan.
So this one could go either way.
Within shouting distance.
Senator Watt said the most disgraceful thing, and he's to withdraw it. I am disgusted in you.
Thank you, Senator Henderson.
What the hell was that all about?
I did not hear the remark, but in the interests of the Senate, I'm going to ask you to withdraw.
Madam President, I withdraw. I refer to the text messages that Senator Henderson said. That's what I said. I withdraw.
I mean, give it some context.
Sorry, context.
Thank you. Thank you. Order. Order. I think we just need to take a moment.
Madam President, the government will not be supporting the suspension motion today, and I'll speak to the suspension before getting to the substance. But the government does not support the approach that the opposition have taken without notice to bring forward a bill that was introduced this week, I think yesterday, by Senator Cash, to now take precedence over all other business. It hasn't been through any process of scrutiny. It hasn't had any opportunity for consultation. The opposition have a spot on next week for private senators' bills. They haven't even listed this for that. They've listed another bill. So I think that goes to the credibility here about the seriousness with which they want this matter dealt with. Senators know that the government has been working on matters relating to the prohibition of Nazi symbols for some time, and I think we can all stand in this place and say there is no place in Australian society for public displays of Nazi symbols or the Nazi salute. But I think we should also acknowledge that this is a complex area of law, and any move to ban Nazi symbols deserves serious consideration, more than an overnight drafting job with which the Senate has not been given the opportunity to scrutinise or consult on, or indeed take through our own processes, which, as people know, is custom and practice in this place. There are many questions about the opposition's proposal, including what head of constitutional power it purports to rely on. This is serious work that needs to be done. It deserves a serious approach, and the Senate should enforce that today by not allowing the bringing on of this bill, including, I note, being allowed to debate for 2 hours and then the guillotine being put. Not really an approach that the Senate would normally take without consultations across the chamber and indeed through our processes. Now, on the substance of the bill that the Leader of the Opposition in the Senate wants to move, let's not forget that last weekend in Victoria, a member of the Victorian Liberal Party, attended a rally where Nazi symbols and the Nazi salute was displayed. Let's not forget that. The Leader of the Opposition in Victoria moved immediately to expel that member from the Liberal Party, decisively and quickly. And yet, despite the grandstanding that we're hearing from Senator Birmingham this morning about all moving with a united and strong voice, where is the condemnation of that? Where is that? Why are the trans community being used as a political punching bag for other motivations? Where is the condemnation
Minister
of
Gallagher,
that?
please resume your seat. I've asked for silence during this debate, and I'm going to insist upon it. Minister Gallagher, please continue.
Where is the condemnation of that? Where is the condemnation of using trans community to peddle other hate and division? Where is the condemnation of that? The political punching bag that a vulnerable group in Australia continuously gets pulled out and used in a way that is appalling in this country. Where's the condemnation of that? So let's not forget what has led us to this point today in the grandstanding from Senator Birmingham.
Please resume your seat again. I've asked for silence. If you want to contribute, stand and seek the call. Otherwise, listen in respectful silence. Minister Gallagher.
Where is it the condemnation from Mr Dutton of reports of senior members of Mr Dutton's front bench undermining the Victorian opposition leader's attempts to stand up to right-wing extremism in his party? Where is the condemnation of that? They are questions that only the Liberal Party can answer, I'm afraid. But there are senators in this place that are supporting what we saw through the way they engaged with the Victorian Liberal Party on what we saw on the weekend. And I think we deserve better. I think the Australian people deserve better. The Senate should stand united. We should stand together. We should send a strong voice about the events that we saw in Victoria and what have led, I think, to this bill being drafted this week. We definitely should do that, but that's not what's happening. So let's use the practice custom of this place, which is to put bills into the chamber, to have them go through a process, to have them referred to committees if necessary, and then bring them back for debate during the time that's allocated in this chamber, not try and move a stunt when there's other things that should be happening, standing united on a whole range of fronts. This bill that the leader seeks to move today needs serious consideration, not a stunt.
Has expired.
A few hours later.
Senator Henderson.
Mr Acting Deputy President, in accordance with Standing Order 190, I seek leave to make a personal explanation about what transpired in the chamber this morning.
Is leave granted? 1 minute.
During a motion to suspend standing orders to bring on for debate a private senator's bill entitled Criminal Code Amendment Prohibition of Nazi Symbols Bill 2023, Senator Watt interjected. As he pointed directly towards me, he said words that I will not repeat and that no other person should repeat. They were abhorrent and offensive. Since I was first elected in 2013, I do not recall in this chamber or the other chamber a more distasteful statement. The precise words uttered by Senator Watt will be seared into my memory for a very long time. Any attempt to distort and recharacterise his interjection only compounds the damage. The only words Senator Watt should be saying are, I unconditionally apologise. The Parliament provides members and senators with enormous privileges, including the right to speak freely under parliamentary privilege. However, with that right comes significant responsibility. Our workplace must be safe in all respects. Words can cause enormous harm. I acknowledge and thank my colleagues who have provided me with support. I also acknowledge and thank the President for calling me to check on my welfare and to advise that I may wish to contact the Parliamentary Workplace Support Service, which I have now done. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Henderson. Senator Watt?
I seek leave to make a personal explanation.
Leave granted. Leave granted. 1 minute.
Thank you. The events of this week have been challenging for many in and out of this place, most of all vulnerable people who have faced persecution merely for being who they are. For the clarity of all senators, this morning, in response to Senator Birmingham moving the suspension motion, I asked Liberals why they were not condemning their own senators who are texting Victorian Liberal leader Mr Pasuto to support Victorian MP Moira Deeming, who recently stood with neo-Nazis. It was consistent with my view that as senators we are all accountable to each other for our actions. I did not intend to upset Senator Henderson, and that's why I withdrew my remarks, as did Senator Cash when she withdrew remarks that she made against me. We all want this place to be a safe and respectful workplace. None of us want to see our colleagues in distress. It is my hope that as senators we can come together against hateful and divisive rhetoric and engage in respectful debate.
I shall now move to 2-minute statements.